God, why did I shave? What's going on, everybody? This is Sean of Raw Select Music. I wanted to give you a little vinyl update since over the weekend I ended up going up north to Sendai and ended up picking up a couple of records. And it's kind of an interesting story behind some of the shit that I picked up over the weekend. But I'll get into that. First, I want to get into this record that I picked up from Amazon, which, by the way, keep this in mind. Amazon has records. It's a little pro tip that I'm not sure if a lot of people know about, but Amazon has a surprisingly large amount of records, especially for underground artists that you wouldn't expect them to have. So, anyways, found this in stock. It's about 2,000 yen, new Lord Echo album. Unfortunately, it's not the Japanese press, which is what I wanted. Lord Echo's Harmonies on Soundway. Just pull it out real quick so you can see. And, oh, by the way, I don't know if you know what those little markings are, but I like to mark my records. They're cue points, so it's a little bit easier when I'm DJing, looking for tracks. I want to know what BPM something is. So useful little topic. I might get into that in a different video. But anyways, yes, new Lord Echo came out this year. Came out last month, I think. And if you're unfamiliar with Lord Echo, the best way I can describe them is dub meets disco meets reggae meets African music. It's a hodgepodge of a bunch of different genres, and I don't know how else to describe it as it's pretty light listening music. I've got a sort of like a weird, I don't know, feeling towards Lord Echo because I want to like them more than I actually do. Just because their music is really, really well done and it's really well produced. It's got this really vintage sound to it. And the guy, what's his name? Mike Fabulous, I believe, is the guy who's pretty much in charge of all the stuff for Lord Echo. He's kind of a hardware nut. He's got, hardware is not the word for it, but he's an instrument nut, and he loves vintage recording equipment, synthesizers, stuff like that. And I just find myself not as in love with this music as I'd like to be, but it's always just, it's a pleasant enough listen that even when a new album comes out, even though I'm probably not going to be rocking it all the time, it's still something I can go back to when I'm not sure exactly what I'm in the mood for. But I just want something that's sort of background music. Lord Echo usually does the trick. But anyways, a lot of people really like this record. I think you should definitely check it out. Check out anything by Lord Echo. I've got their other two albums here. And yeah, Lord Echo, worth picking up. Then, the other three records that I wanted to talk about. So I picked up these three when I was in Sendai. And there's kind of a funny little story behind this. I was going to do this whole little vlog thing. I was going to show you Sendai. I was going to introduce you to this record store that I really wanted to go to. So the record store's name is Mailman, which if for whatever reason you're in Sendai, definitely check it out. They've got one of the best selections of hip-hop, house, soul, disco, funk, jazz that I've seen. And it's all relatively reasonably priced. But anyways, so I tried finding the place because I'd been there before by memory. And sure as shit, I was actually able to find it. So I went over there, and it was shuttered. Couldn't get in there. But I found it, so I was pretty happy. Gave myself a nice little pat on the back for that. And I ended up going to an event in Sendai. I'd never been there. It's a place called Club Shaft. And met up with a friend of mine, Grooveman Spot, who's a DJ slash hip-hop producer based out of Sendai. He's on Jazzy Sport. There's a record label, if you're not familiar with, it's a good hip-hop record label in Japan. Definitely worth checking out. Anyways, to talk to him, he introduces me to the owner of the record store, which I guess is some other guy that I had never seen before. since the time that I went there is a different guy. Anyways, talk to him. He apologizes. Oh, sorry, I was at a wedding all day, so I was away from the shop. All right, fine. But then he said, as he was really drunk, that he was going to be there tomorrow around 12. All right, I was like, cool. Get in there tomorrow, get some good records, sort of build a connection, and also I was going to do a vlog for you guys and show you this cool little tiny record store in Sendai. Well, funny story. So I go there around 12:30, figuring, it's probably going to be a little bit slow. Yeah, get there about 12:30. Not there. Figured as much. All right, so I'll go around the corner, go find something to eat, grab a little coffee, have a cigarette, come back. Yeah, still not there. All right, so now I'm starting to think, all right, now what should I do? I was running on a limited amount of time because I had to meet up with some people in order to make sure that I got my ride home. And he's still not there. So I'm starting to panic. Limited amount of time. What do I do? All right, so I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to go to this other record store. I found it on Google Maps. And it apparently had high reviews. So I have no idea why, since I think I spent a grand total of 10 minutes in that record store. Now, luckily, since I've been digging for records for about 10 years or so, I know what I'm looking for. So I can go into a record store pretty quickly and find something that's worth purchasing. And sure enough, I did actually find some stuff. So anyways, go to this record store. It's reasonably priced. Nothing real special about it. It has kind of a selection of music that I really don't care about. And grab my shit, pay for it, run, and then have to go meet my friends, my wife, so I can make sure that I can get back to Niigata. So with all that being said, just as I'm about to get on the train, get a phone call. Don't recognize it. Wondering, who could this be? Don't recognize this number. Pick it up. Turns out, it's actually the owner of the record store, mailman, that I wanted to go to. Calls me. Yeah, Sean. Sorry. Overdrank all last night. Moving real slow this morning. Couldn't make it in. Can you still stop by? I am literally about to get on the train to go meet up with everybody. And couldn't help but laugh at the whole absurdity of the situation. I've been hanging out all day trying to get into this record store. I was going to spend a decent amount of money in there. And sure enough, he doesn't get in there until after I'm already gone. Long story short, it was a rather amusing story. Long story short, it was pretty amusing. At least I thought it was. But I will definitely be going back up there, and hopefully it'll be open. And hopefully I can show you around. And I definitely want to in the future, so you can look forward to this. I'll be hitting up record stores around Japan when I get the chance to kind of give you a better glimpse as to some of the stuff that's out there in Japan. Because Japan has record stores, and that's my Raw Select Sunday Sean guarantee. Anyways, let's talk about the stuff that I picked up at that record store. Because I did find 2 records that I thought were worth purchasing and worth talking about. First is Dilla Lost Tapes. It's out on Mahogany Music, which is Moody Man's label, Kenny Dixon Jr. It's interesting because if you've been buying the Dilla, posthumous Dilla records, like this is before Ma Dukes, Jay Dilla's mother, pretty much took over his entire estate. And everybody was putting out their collection of unreleased Dilla beats. I don't really know that much about this record, but I do have my fair share of Dilla stuff that's posts, donuts, and stuff like that. Just right here, in this little corner right here. Box scrolls. And, yeah, this is on it. Yancey Media Group, which you can see right there. So this is all stuff that's directly controlled by Dilla's mom. All 10 inches. Decent stuff. I wouldn't say it's the cream of Jay Dilla's beats, but definitely worth checking out, especially if you're a Dilla head. Yeah, King of the Beats. I think this was in that MP, not MPC, SP, what is that, SP 400? Well, 1400? Someone's going to correct me on that. I'll let you guys correct me. 1200. It says it right on the fucking sticker there. Yeah. Anyways, back to this. Back to this record here. So, yeah. And surprisingly, this had some tracks on it that I was actually looking for. And a lot of them were actually songs that I really, really like. So, if you're looking for your post-Donuts fix as far as Dilla stuff, this is actually probably one of the better ones to pick up. I will say this, as far as a record to DJ with, it's not great unless you don't mind switching tracks really quick, since most of the songs are between 30 seconds and a minute and a half long. But yeah, worth picking up. And also, yeah, it wasn't too bad. About 23. And then, this one was kind of funny, because I think, I've talked about Jet Set Records before. Jet Set Records, they have, you can create a wish list. So you can keep track of the records that you want to buy. And if they go out of stock, you can also get do a wish list. So you'll get notified by phone, or by email rather, when that record that you want comes back into stock. So I was looking at this before. This is the Gary Olson Trio, Another Galaxy. There. You probably hold it like this. The opening is actually on the top of the record, which is why I was holding it like that before. Ooh, we're gonna spin it around, spin it around. Okay. So, Gary Wilson Trio, don't really know a lot about this. I've heard it's been sampled. Gary Wilson's music's been sampled a lot. And the track on here, Another Galaxy, the title track from this, is a good, solid piece, jazz funk piece. Some interesting arrangements. And honestly, it's probably the only track that I will ever play out at an event, but definitely something to hold on to for listening stuff. The only thing that I would say I'm not really huge on with this record is it's only 4 songs. And one is the jazz funk track, that's the Another Galaxy. Then Softly the Water Flows, which is on the B side of this, is, yeah. It's just like a solid, sort of moody, light jazz piece. I dig that kind of stuff. The other 2 tracks on here are free jazz. And if you're not familiar with free jazz, a lot of people, when they think of, like, oh, it's musical masturbation, basically, they think of stuff like this. It's something that I haven't really tried getting into, because the majority of stuff that I buy on records is usually stuff that I'm looking for to play out or to put on a DJ mix. And yeah, this is some pretty out there shit. But I don't know, I might end up going back to it. It's definitely a reissue, because one of the things that was inside of it was download code. I might want to cover that so you guys don't steal my fucking download. But yeah, definitely, if you're into free jazz, check it out. If you know about Gary Wilson, I'm sure you already own a copy of it. But it's definitely going to be interesting listening, and I might come back to it at a later date and do an actual full review of it. And then last, this one's kind of interesting, because this is actually a record I've been looking for a while. And I'm not sure if it's a white label or not, but here, let me take it out of the sleeve real quick. Yeah. And that's Uncle Guns Blazing with the main reason I got this is Drums of Death. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Uncle, the reason that this is a record you might want to pick up is the first Uncle album, only the first Uncle album, had DJ Shadow doing most of the production duties on it. I hate these plastic. These things are so annoying, but they're better than paper sleeves. So just take it for what it's worth. Yeah, great record. Great record. The reason I really like this guy is the drums on here. This is number song style DJ Shadow. So if you like that introducing sound, but something that's actually, it's a little less meditative and just a little bit more raw, aggressive, and you want those drums. Yeah, guns blazing, drums of death. Pick this up. Pick up the original album, which I've never actually heard all the way through, but I've heard really, really good things about. I'm just gonna put this down because trying to fit this sleeve and talk to you guys is borderline impossible. So this went a little bit longer than I wanted to. Thanks for watching again. I'll be doing a review pretty soon. I know I keep saying that I'm going to be doing different content other than just showing you the records that I've been buying, but there will be a review coming soon. You look forward to that. As always, please, I put all of my social media stuff down in the info box. Make sure you check out my blog. I post pretty much Monday through Friday, and I guess it's Sunday through Thursday for you guys. And follow me on Twitter, follow me on Facebook, check out my shit. Actually, make sure to check out my Mixcloud, because that's another way to get, find out what kind of stuff that I'm interested in, what I'm listening to, and what I like DJing out without, yeah, it's just another way to hear the sort of stuff that I'm into that maybe I don't have a chance to talk about on here. So yeah, thanks again for watching. Definitely more content coming soon. You can expect some other stuff in the future. Oh, shit, I almost completely forgot to mention. Part of the reason that this record's special, fuck, I can't believe I almost forgot about that. Part of the reason this record's special, picked it up from Groove Band Spot while I was in Sendai. So that's why this record means even more to me. Shit! I did that out of order. I don't care. This is a raw video. This is raw select music. That's why I do it this way. You can expect more content from me. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next video.